Hello and welcome, guys. Today we're going to learn how to create this MOGRT. Let me go to browse, and it's this guy, and it's the Kinetic MOGRT 4. And basically now I'm just gonna put my playhead in between the cut because I want to cover a jump cut, and this is a sidebar. And now I'm going to make it a little bit longer, I'm thinking. And now I'm going to notch this so as to go to the point in time where the MOGRT covers the entire screen so that I can cover that jump cut. And here it is. This is the one side. This is before the cut. And now the MOGRT comes in and boom, it got covered and we are good. I can now, these are the things I can change. I am Luisa Winters, and Luisa is an Adobe SME subject matter expert and has been teaching Adobe products for over 20 years. It's actually it's 25 years. 25 years, period. All right, so this is what we have. I think I want to lower the position of the Luisa. I want to lower the position of this. I want to change this to a regular, right? You know what? Let's do italic. And I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to move it like yay. And I like the white, so I'm going to leave the white. So now I'm going to change the rectangle properties. I'll make it, I don't know, reddish, whatever, right? I'm going to copy this number, go to the other one, and I want to make this a little bit darker. Yeah. And then the stroke color, we're just going to make it lighter like that. All right? And here is what it looks like, and we are going to learn how to do this right now. Okay guys, here in After Effects I'm using the same project that I've been using before, so I'm just going to now create a new folder and I'm going to call it Kinetic MOGRT 4. And I'm going to add a composition to this, which of course I'm going to call Kinetic MOGRT 4. And 1920 by 1080, 2997 is exactly what I want. So perfection, there you go. I'm going to close the 3. All right. So this is just going to be a sidebar, and it's going to come in and it's going to cover the whole screen at some point. So let me just change this to Kinetic MOGRT 4, and the name of the MOGRT will be Kinetic MOGRT 4. There you go. All right. So the first thing I need is a solid, right? So here we go, Control Command the Y, and the color doesn't matter because I am going to add the gradient ramp. And I still have it from the last tutorial, and here it is. And I'm just going to change the colors here to, I don't know, like a green, maybe a little bit darker green here. I'm going to copy that color to a darker green here, but kind of sort of the same hue, and I'm digging that. So this is good. Linear ramp is good. I could change the angle of the ramp, so I could put it like here for one color stop and here for the other one, or I can simply swap the colors like this, and I haven't used this until now, but there is a swap colors button here, and so you can easily do it like that. All right, so I actually like it with the darker here on the right. That's just my personal preference, so you know, no biggie, all good. All right. So now I want to have a mask around my solid, but before I do that, I'm just going to make it smaller like that. All right, so now I'm going to select the layer and I'm going to draw a mask on the one side. I don't want it at the top. So on the one side, right? So now I'm going to click out of it to deselect it, right? And, you know, I can also simply duplicate that mask. So, you know what? Let me do that because I just want another mask on the other side of this layer. So to duplicate the mask, just select it and it is selected. And now Control or Command D, and now we have two. To move it to the other side, I'm going to do a free transform. So Control or Command T, and now I'll just use the right arrow. I'm going to use it with the Shift key. And I'll put it where it needs to be. And you know what? Now I'm just going to zoom in. And let me just select mask 1. Starts good. And here I could select just that one point and move it. There you go. Now it's straight. Fabulous. I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going to select mask 2. I think I am going to select just that one point and nudge it a little bit. And now on the top, I'm going to select just that point and nudge it a little bit, like, yay. Okay, this is very good. Now to that layer, I'm going to add an effect. So effect, generate stroke. And I'm going to do all masks. And I don't want it to be white. I want it to be green. And in fact, you know what? Let me choose this green. And I'm going to make it a little bit brighter. And now I'm going to make it like, yay. Oh, I'm digging that. I am digging that. And I'm going to have no brush hardness. And there you go. So this is what I have now. All right, so now I can select the layer, press S for scale again. And I'm just going to reset the scale, but I have now my sidebars, which is what I want for this MOGRT. So what I want to do is I am going to make this a little bit wider. So I'm going to deselect the constraint proportions. And the first number is for width. The other one is for height. I'm just going to make it much wider like that. And now I'm going to press Shift P for position. It's because I want to see both position and scale. And I am going to keyframe both of them here at the beginning. All right, so for the position, I'm just going to start completely outside. And remember, just like with the MOGRT that I did before, at some point, I want for the entire screen to be covered. All right. So now I'm going to go to 1 second. Let's make this last 1 second. And I'm going to reset the position here. And the scale, I'm just going to bring it to like, yay, maybe a little bit thinner. A little bit lower like that. And in fact, I'm going to have the sidebar come to here. And let's see how that works. So do you see how it's not covering everything? That's because I started the scale too quickly. If I just move this keyframe here at some point, even more, see it? The whole screen gets covered. And now I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. And let's see. Yes. So I have like 2 frames in which the whole screen is covered. And now it lands there. I'm going to select all of these guys. I'll press F9. So F9 for easy ease. And now let's just give it a tiny little bit of a bounce. So let me see. Let me go here to the value graph. Let me start with position. And in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to separate the dimensions so that I can do that bouncy bounce type thing. All right, so let me F9 it. And I'm just going to do yay. All right, so I don't want to do anything with the Y position, but the X position, yes. And this is what's doing. It just looks a little funky there. You know what? I'm going to do a little bit less. Or in fact, I could just accelerate it like that. Yeah, you know what? I think I like that much better. All right, so now with scale, I can do a little bit of a bouncy bounce. And I can even do it here at the beginning so that I have these S's. Ooh, no, don't snap. Yes. You know what? Maybe this. And it's just a little bounce, right? Just a tiny little bit. Come on. No. There you go. Unless that's just weird. That just looks weird. Very weird. You know what? Let me undo a whole bunch of times. Because before it looked better. And it's still looking weird. Why are you looking weird? Did I create maybe another? That's what I'm talking about. I just needed to give it a little bit more space. There you go. I'm digging that. All right, so now I want to have two different lines of text because I want to have like a header and then smaller text for the body. So let me just go ahead and create my first line. So this is my first line. And I can simply put it where I need it to be. And let me release the caps locks. And I want it center aligned. And I want it to be smaller. All right. And I want it here. Right. So this is the first line. I am loving that. And then I'm going to have a text box for no. Grab the type tool. And I'm going to have a text box. And this I want it to be right aligned. And lorem ipsum dolor sit amet, and I'm just gonna copy and paste a lot of lorem ipsums, whatever, right? So I'm also gonna change the font of this one. I don't want it to be black. In fact, I think I want it to be bold, so a little bit different. And you know, this is just placeholder text, so who cares? So it's all good. And let me do the first line. I'm going to add an animator. So I'm just going to click on adding an animator. And I'll do the one for position, I'm thinking. And I think I just want it to come down. So maybe from here. And then I'll keyframe. There you go. Something like that. I'm even going to F9 it. And to that layer, I'm going to do a mask. All right, so I'm going to do a mask like yay. All right, I'm also going to press F for feather. And I think I want to create a little bit of feathering for the mask so that when, there you go. Yeah, I think I'm digging that. All right. So that is the first line with the animator. Let me make sure that everything is good. Actually, you know what? Let me select this, press U, and I think I want to add another animator here for the second text layer. So for the main body text. And I think I'm going to do a position as well, except it's going to come in from, I don't know, from the right. All right. And I can now keyframe the range selector, and I'll just do this. I'll press F9 so that it just basically goes like yay. And that's a little fast. Let me slow it down a little bit, not too much. And then the same thing, I'm going to add a mask. So it's just going to be this. Yeah, S for feather. So I'm going to feather that mask about maybe 15 pixels. And this is very good. This is exactly what I want. So let me just go ahead and collapse everybody. And now I'm going to solo the supported properties. All right, so Kinetic MOGRT 4, solo supported properties. So I'm going to create a group for text. And I'm just going to call it text properties. And I'm going to have the source text there, right? So text to source, right? And this is the lorem ipsum, and text one source, right? So for both of them, I'm going to enable the custom font selection and the size adjustment, right? And I think I want the position here as well. So I'm just going to call this text. Oh, I put it in the wrong place, didn't I? I need to put it here. Text 1, text 2, position. And you know what? I think I also need to do the line spacing, so the leading. So let me just go ahead and add that animator for line spacing. And remember, for this, we're going to have to add a null object, which I'm just going to call control. And to this, we are going to add, so effect, expression control, so an effect, and I'm going to do a slider control. All right, so I'm going to do a slider control, and I'm going to call it line spacing text 1, just in case, right? And now I'm going to duplicate that and line spacing text 2. All right, so text 1 slider, and so this is the line spacing. I'm going to add the expression, right? And now I'm just going to go directly to the text 2, right? Because this is the one that says lorem ipsum. And as far as the X position is on this temp, I'm going to point it to itself. All right, so I'm digging that. And now for the other text, I'm just going to go here, line spacing, add the expression, right? I'm going to select the control layer, and I'm just going to pick whip to that slider. And for that temp, for the X value, I'm just going to point to itself also. Okay, so I have these things set here. Let's see how they work. So this is for line 2, and it's working beautifully. And for the line 1, it'll work beautiful as well. So let me solo the supported properties again. And this slider is going to be for text 2, line spacing text 2. I love it. And then line spacing text 1. All right. And we could edit the range of this slider. We could absolutely do that, but I'm not going to do that. It's not going to be necessary. So here we go for the text source. I also want to add an animator for the text color. All right, so I want to make sure that we can change the text color. So I'm going to add the animator for the fill color RGB, and I'm going to make it white for default, and this is going to be for text 2. So this is going to be text 2 color. I'm not even going to call it fill color. I'm just going to call it color. And then the same thing for the other text. And here we go. Add animator, fill color RGB. I'll make it white default, and then I am going to select that and drag it here, and I'm just gonna call it text 1 color. And I think I'm done with the text properties. This is actually pretty good. I have, the position. No, I don't have the position. Oh, yes, I do. I don't have text 1 position. That's what I didn't do. Come on. So let me select this, P for position, and let's have the position. So this is text 1 position. We have a capital T and capital P. And then you go position, spacing, and color. I am good. Now we're going to the next one. So I'm going to solo the supported properties, and I'm going to collapse these first 3 layers. And here we go. We're going to go to, let me create a group. And I'm going to call it rectangle properties. And we're going to have the start color. We're going to have the end color. We're going to have the stroke color. We're going to have the stroke opacity. We're going to have the opacity of the main rectangle. And I also want to add the position of the of this layer. But remember, the position and the scale were keyframed. So what I'm going to do is I am going to parent this to the control layer. And then I'm going to put the position of the control layer as part of the rectangle properties. All right, so start color, I'm just going to call it that. End color, I'm just going to call it that. This is going to be the rectangle opacity, stroke color, scroll opacity, and this is going to be the rectangle position. Oh, I already had the word position, so there you go. And for some weird reason, I never do the cap. Anyway, I think this is good. I'm going to save this, and let me go ahead and export this motion graphic template. It asks me to save the project, and it's going to go to the local templates project, and I'm just going to give it my name as a keyword. That way I can find it, and it's creating the preview and all the good stuff. In fact, I forgot to do the return. So I want it to appear and then I want it to disappear. So, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and nest all of these. So select all of them, and then you can go layer, pre-compose, and I'm going to call it MOGRT for pre-comp. And there you go. And there you go. Everything starts, blah, 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 and it ends here. All right, so it ends here. At this point, I'm going to split the layer, right? And now I'm going to time reverse. So layer, time reverse the layer. And of course, I have to trim it. And that's going to be easy. And the animation starts here. I'm going to trim it to that. And yes, I can be using the shortcuts and all that. Sometimes, you just do what you can do. And there you go. All right, so N, I'm going to right click this and I'm going to trim the comp to the work area. And I'm going to have a protected area here. And that's going to be N. Then I'm going to right click it. I'm going to create a protected area. And starting here, B to the end, I'm going to create another protected area. Here in the middle is where I'm going to set the poster frame. All right. And now let me save and let me export the motion graphic template. The keyword will be Luisa. And now, okay. Yes, I want to replace it. And now we're going to go into Premiere Pro and see if everything works fine. So I'll go to, so I am in Premiere. I'm going to have a jump cut, right? Oh, I'm going to use the same jump cut as before. I'm going to browse, and here's my Kinetic MOGRT 4. I'm going to add it here to the timeline. And now I'm just going to do it a little bit differently, right? So I am just going to notch the MOGRT until it covers the entire screen like that. So to notch the MOGRT, to notch the layer, it's selected, right? And I'm pressing Shift and Alt and then using the left and right arrows. I could just use Alt and then the left and the right arrows for a 1-frame notch. If I add the Shift, then the default value is 5 frames notch, and there you go. So it's playing, it comes in, it covers the cut, and now what I can do is simply make this bigger, right? Move it to the left like that. And in fact, if you see, I think 150 will just do just like that. Perfect. And now I can just go Lisa Winters, and I can just write something in here like Luisa is an Adobe SME and has been teaching Adobe products for over 25 years. Which is true, by the way. And here we go. So here's the MOGRT. And there you go. If I want this to last longer, I'm just going to make it longer, like yay. And everything is working fine. It's going to stay there, right? Now let me change things a little bit, because I want this to be maybe a little bit lower, maybe this a little bit lower. And it's, yeah, it is, one is Roboto Bold and one is Roboto Black. I'm going to do this a little bit smaller. And I'm actually going to move this maybe a tiny little bit to the right and lower. And maybe, you know, we want to have a little bit more line spacing. All right, so that's the text. Let's go to the rectangle. Maybe I want it to be orange like that. In fact, you know what? I'm going to copy that value. And I'm going to paste it here. And it's just going to go a little bit darker like that. And then, of course, for the border, we can do it. In fact, you know what? I think I'm going to go lighter for the border. Yeah, I'm digging that. And by the way, one of the reasons why I have the stroke opacity here is so that we can completely disappear it if we don't like it, right? So anyway, it's working great. This is exactly what I had in mind. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know all of these MOGRTs are very similar one to another, but I try to add something different going from one MOGRT to the next MOGRT. And the important thing is to make them all kinetic so that everything feels like a constant motion. All right? I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.